In this video, we're going to continue where we left off in the last tutorial for Kotlin here. And if you notice, here's our app. You should have this screen open from a previous session. If not, go over to the left side and make sure Projects is open. And then from this, select down, select Android. Then these are all your files for Android. You can kind of click and open them up. It's kind of like folders, and there's some folders in the manifest, there's some in Java, there's some in resources. So we have some folders here. So let's do something really quick. Actually, no, just to show you how to open it up. So open up first app, resources, layout, and then content main. And if you followed along in the previous video, you should have this. Now, you might not look exactly like this. That's because there are two different modes for design. There's text mode, which is this right here. This is like the code behind the scenes that makes everything work. Then we have the design view. So generally when I code, I use the text view, but to be honest, the design view can do just about anything you want it to do. It's a little bit simpler, easier to use, so I kind of recommend the design, even though I pretty much 99% of the time stick to text. So projects is open up there. We have Android, then app, resources are just called res, layouts, and these are all our layouts here. So let's go ahead and do something. So if we go ahead and run it, so we go ahead and save this here, and then the run button's right up there, or we can use the keyboard shortcut to just press it and run the app. Then let's go back to our emulator, and you'll notice in our emulator when it comes up here we go. So the button, see the button over here is in the center, but over there it's in the top left. Why is it doing that? Let's fix that in just a second. First of all, I want to fix the colors. So see these colors here, like the top bar there, that's not the right color. That's not the color I want for this social media app. And see this pink icon right there, that floating action button? When you press it, it kind of does that, and you can swipe that away. But let's go ahead and change the colors. Okay, so if you have this, open up projects, make sure you're in Android view, and then if everything is closed like that, you can open up app, resources, values, then colors, I think. Yeah, colors. So these are your colors here, and this might look a little bit complicated. You have no idea what this is. Well, see these three colors over there to the left? All you need to do is click on one of them, and then you can select a color. So say we want a red, we can kind of play with this to get any color we want to. So say I want a bright red color, and for that one, and then there's the second one here. Let's make that, let's go all the way to red. Let's make it a little bit darker red. And then let's go over here and let's make this one black. So you can kind of just play around with this. There's not really a science to this. You can kind of like drag things around. You can transparency and like colors. It's kind of like expect how you would a normal color picker. It doesn't really matter. Let's go to black. I'm going to go ahead and make it all the way black and hit choose. So actually, is that correct? Is transparency? I messed with transparency. Let's go ahead and make that. Just go ahead and do that. Sorry, I messed it up there. And once you got the design how you like it, just click choose. So now I'm thinking these colors there, I don't really like the colors. Let's make this a little bit lighter. Let's make it lighter like that. So now we messed with those three icons there on the left. We don't have to touch any of that. When we select the color over here, it automatically fills in the numbers there. So programmatically, that number represents the red there, that number represents the red there, and that color represents the 0 there. There's kind of a science to this, which is outside of the scope of this, but we can go ahead and save it. And then if I go back to content main, and notice there are tabs at the top, or you can go to app, resources, layouts, content main. Look here, now the colors changed. Like before they were a pink color over there and some purple or whatever over there. So I'm going to go ahead and run it again. And if you notice, it should update the app. And let's wait a couple of seconds. Gradle build is running. This can take a couple of minutes depending upon how fast your machine is. And look, here's our colors. Now there's one other thing I want to change in this video. It's the button right there. So see that button? It's in the top left of the screen, but over on here it's in the middle. So what's going on? This has to do with constraint layout. So I'm going to go ahead and select the button by clicking on it, and again go to content main, and then make sure you're not in text mode, but make sure you're in design mode. You can kind of select different things. So we only have a button right here. So go ahead and just click on it until you see those outlines. And then you see these kind of constraint points like the 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the bottom, left, top, and right. What you can do is you can click on it and drag to a corner or to a side and let go. So click, drag, let go. Click, drag, let go. Click, drag, let go. So this kind of says, hey, we want this button to be, we kind of want it on the left side, the top, the right and the bottom, that makes it exactly center. So I'm going to go ahead and save it and run it again, and let's see what happens here. So give it a second to run, and here we are. Now the button's in the middle, so great. So look at that, the button is, you can press it now, it's in the center. So what if you wanted to add more buttons and stuff? Well, we'll get to that in the next video. So go ahead and hopefully you learned how to, change the colors of the app. You click on there, go back to content main, you can see it reflected there, or go back to the emulator and you'll notice that, oh, let me go ahead and close the emulator. So no, I'll just click no. And if your emulator isn't already up or not, what you can do is just go ahead and go up to run and click on the run button, and you'll see this dialog box here. So go ahead and just select one of your emulators. That's the one that we created in a previous video, or I actually already created it, but the one you should see one here under available virtual devices, because in a previous video I showed you how to create a virtual device. And then you can just check this checkbox that says use same selection for future launches. Hit OK. It'll open up the Android app, so that's something else. That's another app. Close that. And it says starting AVD, and here we go. So here we can see that, yeah, the colors are there. This is the emulator here. I should point out that you can also plug your phone into your computer. You'll have to enable developer mode on your phone. Then on Windows, there's some driver stuff you need to do. It's been a little bit since I've done stuff on Windows. I've usually stick with Mac or Linux, just personal preference. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and stop the video, and so hopefully you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.